This is another piece of pet wood from Saddle Mountain. I'll be showing a couple new steps in the cleaning process at the end of the video. Here we go. This step requires hearing protection. I love working with Saddle Mountain petrified wood. It has so many different types of agates and minerals. It takes a bit of work to make it look good. The first thing I do is clean it up so I can see what I've got to work with. The entire surface has to be sandblasted to take away the debris and discoloration. The deeper scale requires a wire wheel and a needle scaler. It's much faster. All the pockets of calcite have to be scrubbed down to the base rock to be able to see what there is. A lot more can be taken off with a needle scaler. Once you can see where the pockets are deepest, it's easier to see where it'll be the most effective to use a drill with a wire wheel. The wire wheel works well for removing the bulk calcite scale from the outside of the piece. It's important to follow the grain to preserve the texture. One problem with using a wire wheel is it discolors some of the lighter colored rock. Sandblasting removes the discoloration without disturbing the texture. I'll repeat the sandblasting and wire wheel steps until I'm satisfied that what's left is the deeper scale. Before using the needle scaler, it's best to wet down the piece to see where everything is and to keep the dust down. The needle scaler makes quick work of the deeper pockets of scale. I wash off the slurry frequently to check the progress. I'm checking to see if there's more to be done on this face. Here it looks like there's a considerable amount of agate that's been exposed. When I'm satisfied with one face, I'll turn it around and start working on the other one. Repeat the process. Like I said, it's a lot of work, but the results are very satisfying. Okay. Okay, well, that's about the most I'm going to do for it. It's got all this calcite, but it's part of the grain of the wood here. So I'm just going to leave that. See if I can wire brush a little bit more of this stain off. Then I'll put it in a Evaporust bath. Okay. That's Evaporust. I'm going to put this in here. Leave it in for about a day. See what it looks like. I'll be back. Okay, it's been a couple of days. Let's see how well this did. Off of my petrified wood. Let's see. I'll have to go back and look in the previous video and see if that helped. Not sure. Yeah. Well, 2 days in the Evaporust. Let's see how it is. Now the Evaporust doesn't remove as much of the calcite, so my goal was to remove the rust stains, which it looks like it may have. I'll know more when I view the previous. Yeah, it definitely has. It definitely has removed a lot of the stains in some of this. Not completely, but I didn't expect it to do 100%. A smaller brush here. Yeah, look at that. Okay. Now, this I didn't have in the Evaporust, but been wet for a couple of days, so trying to get this darker calcite stain, the rust and whatnot off of it. Now this black stuff here, I'm not sure. It almost looked like some sort of mildew, but it's not. And a little bit of the agate's showing through in part of it. All right. Yeah, okay. Boy, it's got some beautiful agatized areas. Golden color here, and the brown and the whites. Right in here, it looks like an opal formation. A lot of different colors and whatnot. That's the bottom. I just ground it down so it'd sit flat. for display, but it looks kind of interesting. Okay, well, that's what it looks like after a couple days in the evaporust. All right, one more step, two more actually. Okay, dry it off. And then coat it with shellac. Maybe. Yeah, I got a little bit left. All right, I'll be back. Okay, now for the last step, I'll use spray shellac. It works very well because it gives it a nice shine, and it dries quick. It covers almost anything, and almost anything can cover over it. But when you reapply it, and if it starts to get dull and you reapply it, it will actually dissolve itself and create a new finish over the old one. Even the dull calcite will shine up with it. I love using shellac. I mean, I could use the crystal clear enamel or the crystal clear acrylic coat, but I prefer using the shellac. It's far friendlier and more versatile than some of the newer counterparts. Anyway, it just takes a couple minutes for it to become dry. It's already almost dry, and that's what it ends up looking like. There's the bottom. This makes for a nice looking finished piece. I like to keep mine as natural as possible. It looks like a piece of old rotten wood, but it has a certain allure to it to go with some of the rest of my pieces. Here's one I showed previously, been shellacked, beautiful. If you like this, you might like some of the other projects on my channel. Hit like and subscribe. Thanks a lot. Bye now.